Need cheap coins right now? Check out redzonecoins.com. For the very best discount available, use code DIRECTOR for 20% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Chargers fans, a couple days ago I put together a video and I asked you guys an important question in this video. I wanted you guys to ask yourselves, who are the Los Angeles Chargers? In this video, I kind of want to answer that question because I feel like the Chargers are kind of at a crossroads at this point of the season. We need to make some decisions, some big decisions. I feel like the uncertainty of what this team is, who the heck our quarterback is, etc., is holding this team back from success. There's a couple of things that I wanted to point out that the Chargers could maybe do to point the arrow in the right direction one more time. Before we get started, guys, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content. Small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video. Lights, camera, action. Who are the Los Angeles Chargers? Now, in this video, again, I normally like to script these things out, you know what I mean? I've been feeling really comfortable lately, though, just kind of getting on here and rapping with you guys. Just kind of speaking my thoughts and getting it all out there so that maybe we can all collaborate in the comment section as to what's happening with the Chargers, what we should expect, and maybe what they should be doing. So who are the LA Chargers being the big thing, the big focus point of this video? I kind of wanted to go over like a change that the Chargers and Chargers fans probably need to be having right now, a conversation they need to be having in the front office, with the players, with the team, because this team does not look the same anymore. If you were to ask me the question, who are the Los Angeles Chargers? Let's say a couple of months ago, you know, we're in training camp, we're still figuring stuff out, but we had a really solid personnel. I would have told you guys that the Chargers are basically a defensive first team with a big emphasis on a heavy run scheme. Now, if I'm looking at the team right now, I want to be able to say the same thing, and I'm pretty sure Anthony Lynn is thinking the same thing as well. He wants to be defense first. He wants to be run first. But taking a look at what's happened here in the last couple of weeks via injuries, via, you know, new quarterback and stuff like that, I think the Chargers need to change their mentality in how they're running this football team. Because as I said at the beginning of the season, yeah, I totally would be making these same decisions that Anthony Lynn is. Put more faith in your defense, punt the ball away and trust your defense. But lately, due to a lot of the things that have happened, I don't know if that decision is quite as easy to make anymore. Let's take a look at what's happened since then, man. We've lost Derwin James. We lost Drew Tranquill very early in the season. We lost another Pro Bowler in Chris Harris Jr. Melvin Ingram's gonna be out for a long time. Really, who do we have left on this defense that I considered a top 5 defense at the beginning of the year? We've basically got Joey Bosa, Casey Hayward, Desmond King, maybe Linval Joseph, and Jerry Tillery, kind of. Those guys are kind of up and rising. But I need to emphasize how big of an absence those huge names were at the top of that list. Like, that's a pretty big difference, a huge stark difference between what we had before the season started and what we have now. You're talking about a top 10 cornerback in Chris Harris Jr. gone. You're talking about like a top 1 or 2 safety in the league in Derwin James. Gone. You're talking about maybe a top 10, top 12 defensive end in Melvin Ingram. Gone. And then, of course, Drew Tranquill had a lot of potential to maybe even make the Pro Bowl this year. He's also gone. And as a Chargers fan, I want to believe in the mentality of next man up, because honestly, I think Melvin Ingram said this at the beginning of the year. We have really good depth. We have exceptional depth when it comes to certain positions, but you really have to look at it in a realistic take as well. In the case that the next man up, let's say from Chris Harris Jr., let's say that's, you know, Desmond King. That is a good next man up, but to put Desmond King in there, we're going to have to start seeing a lot more Mike Davis, a lot more of these other guys that are second, third, fourth stringers. So in a whole, not having Chris Harris Jr. there is hurting the secondary. And this has been especially evident to the absence of Derwin James. Derwin James, I feel, is the kind of player that you build a defense around. Him not being there, half the playbook gets thrown out the window. You really have to readjust what you're doing, who's playing his assignments, and what new looks you want to come out with without Derwin James. Now, on the flip side, just because the defense has been missing a lot of pieces doesn't mean this team hasn't discovered some talent along the way, and I know you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. The Chargers defense does continue to struggle a little bit. This is something evident in the past couple of games. We just gave up 38 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We gave up a lot of points to the Carolina Panthers. We gave up a lot of points, and maybe not as many as we should have, but a lot of points to Kansas City. The Chargers defense just can't hold on as long as we're hoping. And once you kind of, step back and accept that the Chargers defense is still very good, but not as elite as we thought they would be, we need to send them some help out there, man. And the best way you help your defense is by operating a more aggressive and efficient offense. Now, I'll be honest, at the beginning of this year, my faith in the Chargers offense wasn't sky high just because of our quarterback situation. But guess what? That has all changed in the last 3 weeks. Justin Herbert, this rookie quarterback sensation seemingly came out of nowhere and started performing like he could be, the next big quarterback in this league. When I say we have to recognize what's happened to the defense, we also have to recognize what's happened with this offense. This Chargers offense has become much more efficient. It seems like every single week they get even a little bit better, and it's all on the shoulders of our rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert. Every game, every snap that Herbert improves, the Chargers offense becomes that much more efficient and lethal. So this causes me to circle around to helping our defense. We need to balance things out a little bit, man. Who are the LA Chargers? The LA Chargers aren't a defensive first team anymore. They can't really be a run first team anymore. I still think we should put an emphasis on it, but not having Austin Ekeler is a big deal too. So what do? We need to balance things out a little bit. We need to balance the offense a little bit. Throw in a lot more passing plays, get more aggressive on offense to keep the ball moving downfield, to keep time of possession on your side, because when you do that, you help your defense out a lot. Honestly, guys, even before a lot of these injuries, I know there was a lot even, at this point of the season, but in week 2, when we were playing up against the Kansas City Chiefs, there was a moment I saw that Joey Bosa seemed like he had given everything to this game, trying to get after Mahomes. He got his first sack against Mahomes. Then he ended up having to, wait on the sidelines as he, rested up a little bit because this defense was just absolutely exhausted. At that point, late in overtime in week 2, I realized we, even right now with a good defense, are asking way too much from them. And this would have been so much worse if we had Tyrod Taylor in at quarterback, because Tyrod cannot move the ball in the same way that Justin Herbert can. And I'm being honest, guys, I do not think we would have even had a shot at beating Kansas City if it weren't for Justin Herbert. Ultimately, we did lose, but I think we would have lost by a lot more if it hadn't been for Justin Herbert. So with me just trying to word spit, get out all my ideas, get out all my thoughts, what am I coming to here? Who are the Los Angeles Chargers? Like I said before, we're not a defensive first team anymore. We're not a run first team anymore. You know what we got to do? We got to air it out a little bit more with Justin Herbert. Trust in your rookie quarterback to air it out and balance this offensive scheme while we're waiting for Austin Ekeler to come back. Keep time of possession on your side. Make sure your defense isn't on the field a majority of this game, because if you do that, this defense, who's missing so many key pieces, is going to start to wither down. And when they wither down, we're going to see more injuries. We're going to see more points scored against us. I just don't see this as being the same team as what we saw at the beginning of the season. We have to look at the first quarter of the year, see what worked, see what didn't. What worked was Justin Herbert. What didn't was the defense, and we need to adjust. Help this defense out. You have the resources to do that with Justin Herbert and this offense. And it's not just the Chargers, man. I feel like something's going on in the league this year. Something is happening in the NFL this year that we've never seen, or maybe haven't seen in a long time. And yes, it's a different year. It's an unprecedented year. I feel like teams with a good or even elite quarterback are dominating over teams that have, pretty good defenses. And I don't know if it has something to do with the crowd noise. I don't know if it has to do something with injuries, but it just feels like, this is the year of the offense. For a couple examples of that, the Patriots, who are 2-2, highly regarded as one of the better defenses in the league, gave up 35 to the Seattle Seahawks and 26 to the Kansas City Chiefs, which resulted in losses, regardless of their really good defense. The Baltimore Ravens, they've been struggling a little bit, but they're not looking too bad at 3-1. They gave up 34 to Kansas City in their loss. They need to keep up offensively. The San Francisco 49ers, great defense, also hobbled by injuries, gave up 24 to Arizona and 25 to the Eagles. Their offense couldn't keep up. Those resulted in losses. Another great defense that we just played, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who again, they're 3-1, gave up 34 to the Saints and 31 to the Chargers, one of those resulting in a loss. I feel like these defenses aren't as dominant as we've seen in years past. Like, leaning on your defense is not working as well as it did, let's say, in 2019. High power offenses, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Chiefs, these guys are all dominating because they never let up on offense. They're a high-powered offense, never let their foot off the gas. I want the Chargers to be that. I know the Chargers can be that. The Chargers too often get the lead and then just kind of, hang back. They take their foot off the gas. At that point, they start playing prevent defense. Okay, we have a big enough of a lead. Let's not blow it. I don't want to play football that way. I don't think the Chargers can survive playing football that way. They need to recognize what they've got in Herbert. They need to recognize how good this offense is being, regardless of a hobbled line, regardless of, no Austin Eckler. And they need to trust in Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert is proving to be one of those quarterbacks that he is capable of doing even amazing things in his rookie year. And again, like I said before, it's going to balance things out. Don't lean too hard on your defense. Trust more in your offense. The Chargers need to become more of a balanced unit this year. If we're going to survive 2020, it's time the Chargers, shift their momentum from defense and balance it out a little bit on offense. You can still trust this defense. Don't put too much on your offense. Balance. Balance is the key to the Chargers 2020 season. But these are just my thoughts, guys. In the comment section below, let me know your guys' thoughts. I love videos like this where I can just kind of rap and, tell you guys what's up, in my mind, non-scripted, because I feel like I get a lot of that truth out. I just rip it out of my chest and throw it on video for you guys to see. And I think it starts really good conversations. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I may be wrong. And that's okay. That's totally fine. Because I just want to start those conversations in the comment section that help kind of get to the center of the situation here, the center of the issues that we're seeing this year. Very excited to see that happen. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Hit us up with a like and sub on your way out if you do enjoy this content. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty.